All right, so on the notes today, it was constructions, which can be a little weird. So I'm going to make a little video for you of it. You should have a compass. It's a little orange looking thing. Um, should look like this. I put one in the box the other day. If we need to do it another day, that's fine. But basically all this does, and this is a weird one. You've probably seen them with their pointy before. But this is basically a circle drawer. You can put a point, put it in a hole, and we're going to make arcs. And that's essentially what we're going to do today to make a few constructions, okay? When we do constructions, you have to have a straight edge and a compass only, okay? You're going to be tempted when it says to copy an angle to just use a protractor or something, but we're going to construct it with just straight edges and the compass, okay? So the first one, constructing a line segment. It has some directions on there. It'll be kind of weird for me at this angle. I'm sorry that it looks kind of funny. It's hard to prop my iPad up, but it says we're going to construct that line segment XW, the same exact one. We're going to copy it basically. It says using a straight edge, draw a line and a point on the line, label that point P. So we're just going to put down our straight edge and just sketch a line. Then we're going to have basically like a starting point, and they tell us to name it, what did it say, P? So we'll put P on there, okay? So sorry if that's a little off there. So now what we're going to do, and it says all this, the compass, when it says place the compass at point X, it means this center piece right here. So I'm going to line that center right up here with X, okay? So it's right on top of it. And then I'm going to go to these holes, and I know these are the safety compasses, so, you know, you're going to try to find a hole that lines up as best you can with Y. If one doesn't on one side, generally on the other side it will, okay? So I found my hole. I'm going to make a little arc like that, and I need to remember this hole. If you want to use your pencil and kind of mark it, that's totally fine, okay? So we know what hole we used. So basically we know how far that hole is from our center. So I'm going to put that center back on P so we can kind of copy the line. I'm going to go back to that hole I was in. I marked it. I'm going to make a little arc like this. And I want to see arcs, okay? It's okay if you have lots of mess up arcs. So then I'm going to put a point here. I'm going to call that point Q. And PQ is now exactly the same as XY. And you can take a ruler and see. I think that one's pretty easy to understand, but make those arcs on there. If you have to erase, that's fine. Let's go to the next page. And you should have a copy of the notes, and you can kind of get the rest of the stuff off there, but it'll make sense. Now we're going to go construct a segment bisector. So I'm going to have a segment that cuts XY directly in half. It's kind of like finding a midpoint, okay? So I like this one. It's a good one. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on X. You're going to get your center on there, and you're going to pick a hole that's at least over halfway longer, you know, over halfway the line. Goes halfway, past halfway on the line, sorry. It doesn't really matter how far. But then you're going to do it, and you're going to make an arc. You're going to remember that point. Okay, I'm going to mark it a little bit. And then you're going to flip it around to Y. You're going to put your pencil back in that same one, and you're going to make another arc, okay? So those two arcs are pretty much the same distance from their point as the other. Now, you're going to make two little points here because we're going to use these now, okay? And you're going to put your point on one, and you're going to pick one. I've already got one kind of marked right here, and you're going to make a full arc like this. Pretty big one. Flip over to that other point we made. This is hard to see, sorry. Then we're going to put it back in that one we used a second ago. We're going to make another full arc if I can. The main thing is that it intersects with the other arc, okay? See how they give us two intersections? Now I think they tell us to name that P and Q. And if I'm off on the points, that's all right. But if I connect P and Q, use your straight edge too, don't try to freehand it. You get this point right here. I believe we're going to call it M, which is actually the midpoint, okay? And you can measure this. And it may not be perfect because we're using these safety compasses, but it should be pretty close. I don't know if you can even see the markings, but it looks like I'm about 1 inch and 1/8, and here it looks like I'm just about the same. So, and of course, it'll be slightly off, okay, but that's all right. So basically what we did is we made these arches above. Since we made them from these points that were equal distances from these, it made them line up in the center, okay? And we can always, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Let's flip over to this one. We're going to copy an angle. So when we copy an angle, we need to start with something. So just take your ruler, and usually we call these working lines, but you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're going to label an end point on here. Doesn't matter where. I'm going to call it T, okay? I know my letters seem sideways there. So what we're going to do here, and we've got our ray, and that's what it says to do. So we've got our ray. We're going to take the tip of our compass and put it on P, and pick any of them. I'm going to pick this third or fourth one here and make an arc like this, okay? Remember which hole you had it in. Then you're going to go down to T. I hope you can see that. We're going to go down to T, put our pencil in the same one, and make a big arc like this, okay? So we're kind of have a matching picture. They're just on different angles here, okay? Darn it, I moved it again. I hope you can see that. So I had it on T. I put it in the same hole I was on, and I wiped a big arc, okay? And the bigger the arc, the better, really. It doesn't matter if you do the whole circle, okay? Now up here, I think it tells us to name one of these Q and one of these R on the intersections. What you're going to do, and this is kind of tricky, I'm going to move this around. You're going to put the center on one of the points, and you're going to try to find a hole on your compass that lines up with the other point real well. And these are really tough to see. If you did it too close, it may be hard to find one, but I think there's these little holes right here that you can use also. I'm going to make mine a little further out real quick, so I'm going to put another arc on here. Sorry, guys. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to go ahead and redo this one. So I've got two on there, but it should only be one. Sorry, guys. It's weird doing it at this angle and seeing, so. But same basic thing, okay? Now, I come back here and put it on this bottom point, R2 or whatever. Now it should be a little easier to find one that matches up. So it looks like maybe not right there. Maybe about right there. It's kind of tough to see, but it's pretty close. I'm going to mark it. Then you're going to come back down here, put it on T. Let me see. It's hard to get it on there with these. I'm going to use the one that I just marked. That's not the one. What am I doing, guys? Sorry. I'm making this on the fly, so I'm sorry, guys. I meant, instead of putting it here after you make that arc, put it right here when you make that arc. Then you can give it the little sketch again. And again, we get another intersection right there. Sorry about that one. You can always look a video up on these on YouTube if you need to, but I can also make another one if it's too confusing. And there what we have is this new angle. I think it tells you to name it something. ST something, U. So STU is this copy of that QPR. Man, I had my thing off that entire time. Just do your best on that one. I can't really go back and go make another one in time. But if you look up constructing an angle on YouTube, there should be a good video. Sorry, I don't have a stand. I'm just kind of holding it up as I'm going, so it's kind of tough to use both hands. But anyway, so read the directions, see if you can do that. If you do have troubles with it, though, I understand. But let's go to the last one. An angle bisector. So we're going to make a ray that comes out of A and cuts that angle A in half. Okay. This one's a pretty good one. Put your compass on point A, and then make a large arc on this that's going to intersect both sides, okay? Just like this. Okay, now it says, and on the next part it says, put the compass at point B. I think it told us to name these B and C. But it says do it on the interior, which would mean like back here, but we can do it wherever. So just put it on B, pick a point. I'm going to use this one right here, and sweep an arc. Then go to the other point you made, C, put it in the same one, sweep an arc, and there's our intersection. Once we have our intersection, we can put our straight edge on there. I think mine's upside down. And we can sweep it through there, which makes these two angles congruent, okay? There's probably way better videos online, but I thought I'd do it anyway. If you have any questions, of course, we can go over this again, but constructions aren't super, super important. You'll be able to go on perfectly without them. I think there may be one or two on the test, but I'll do a little review for you if you need to. You're doing good on your quizzes. Just keep up your good work. You'll be back soon enough, and good luck.